show from when they were kids. They've got some cheap recording equipment and spare time. No one will ever listen to this show, but they're gonna record it anyway. Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Go, go, Ranger Danger! Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger!
Welcome to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger, the podcast where we watch an episode of Power Rangers and then we discuss it. Our website is www.rangerdangerpodcast.com. You can send us an email at rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. We are at RangerDcast on Twitter. We're also on Facebook, and if you search for Ranger Danger, you can find us on Apple's iTunes service. We are at the very end of the Green Medieval miniseries.
And thank God.
Indeed. We have been doing a roundtable discussion. We have lost Lauren, unfortunately, to the ravages of time.
She just left. We didn't lose her.
No, she's gone.
Like the end wives.
Backyard somewhere. No one
Yeah.
can check
She
yet.
wandered off to have a drink and
She never came back. But we do have Ashley here with us still. Hey, Ashley.
Hi.
Tim.
Yo.
Paisley.
Hello.
Amanda.
Hi.
And Michael and I still here.
whoop whoop.
That was Michael.
Hi, hi, hi.
That was Alpha.
I think we're pretty psyched to see the end of the scene, both to find out what happens and to get it over and done with. So this has been all about the introduction of the Green Ranger, Tommy Oliver, played by Jason David Frank, who will go on to become the most successful and popular Power Ranger and feature in a great miniseries in different capacities.
Yep.
And we were just talking about Jason David Frank a bit before the show started, about how he's one of the actors who embraces his Power Ranger-ness the most, probably.
Yeah. I think there's some kind of actors who will be in Power Rangers in the future who are starting to embrace it now.
Yeah.
Because they're recognising that it can be used as kind of a
Promotional.
springboard into that nerdy culture section of the world.
Yeah.
And then that nerds will watch anything with someone they like in it.
Yeah.
No matter how bad it is. But Jason David Frank is certainly, of the original cast, he's the only one who really still milks it.
Yeah, absolutely. He went into MMA fighting for a little bit. Didn't have a long MMA career, but a very successful one.
Yes, all of his fights will appear to be wins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's like
Is it-
5 fights.
Yeah.
It's not a huge...
It was a huge number, but he did very well in what he did. But for his main job, he runs a dojo teaching martial arts.
He's
and
a 7th degree black belt.
In what martial art?
I'll find out. Karate, possibly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's karate.
At the age of 4, he was training at the Red Dragon Karate School.
Yeah.
He was teaching other children by 12. And when he turned 18, he and a friend bought the school.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. He also does boot camps and stuff like that for fitness purposes.
Does he?
He does.
Man, I am so unfit, but I would go on a Jason David
Imagine
Frank.
how
Well,
fit you'd be, though.
Yeah, I couldn't let Tommy down.
That's right. And he actually Power Ranger things it. It's his Power Ranger
Does he?
boot camp.
Champion.
Yeah.
That's
Bloody legend.
good on him.
Yeah, and he does he is kind of a bit of an egotistical dick, but
He can be a bit...
he's kind of overbearing, but because he's the one guy who really embraces it. You see pictures all over the internet of him with the 4 different Ranger helmets that he's used. He keeps them; they're on display in his dojo.
You know, his profile image on Wikipedia is him posing with the Green Ranger helmet.
Yeah,
He's not... Amy Jo Johnson famously refused to discuss Power Rangers for nearly 20 years after she was on the show.
yeah.
To the point where, actually no mention of it at all. The other guys were not as stringent about it, but...
Yeah, well, so some of them sort of went off the grid, like David Yost, for various reasons. The guy who plays Jason
Yep.
actually retired from public life, as we've discussed, to become a paramedic and firefighter. But of the ones that sort of stayed in the entertainment industry, they all sort of, to a greater or lesser extent, sort of shied away from it, except for
Jason.
David Frank.
Did the girl who played Trini die?
Yes, she was in a car accident in the early 2000s.
We've discussed that one. Yeah, it's depressing.
That's pretty sad.
But yeah, I think a lot of them now, especially in the past couple of years or so, with the anniversary coming up, have sort of come back to doing a lot of conventions and stuff like that.
Even Amy Jo Johnson did a convention earlier this year, I believe.
Yeah.
Or earlier last year.
I saw a convention appearance that was Jason David Frank, Walter Manuel Jones, who plays Zach,
Yep.
and I think it was David Yost,
Yes.
all together, which is pretty cool because I think a lot of them hadn't seen each other in quite a while.
No.
Yeah, so
It's nice that they're all coming back to it
It
and
is.
owning it.
whereas the guys who play Block and Skull are best friends and have been best friends for the past few decades.
They're the most adorable thing.
Yeah, it's kind of heartwarming, I think.
And I don't even think they'd met each other before being on the show. It was just, sweet.
Love at first sight.
Yeah.
Some fun facts about Jason David Frank.
Yes.
He auditioned for the Red Ranger,
Okay.
but did not get it.
Idiots.
Obviously. But then was cast as the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
So that must have been a close call if they
Yeah.
decided.
To give him
To
a
bring
job
him back,
later
yeah.
on.
He will leave the show briefly in the future.
Yep.
Originally, the intent was for him to go and work on a show called VR Troopers.
Yeah, which is an adaptation of another Sentai series.
Which is another similarly constructed show to Power Rangers, but apparently far worse, is my understanding.
Yeah.
That was the intent was he would star in that and he would be the star.
Because he was so incredibly popular with kids on Power Rangers.
And then what would happen is another actor named Brad Hawkins would come into Power Rangers and be a new Sixth Ranger.
Yeah.
And that didn't quite happen. Brad Hawkins got the role in VR Troopers, and they brought Jason David Frank back to Power Rangers.
Largely because of the response. Like, they were getting
Yes.
letters about kids locking themselves in their room and refusing to come out until Tommy was back on Power Rangers.
He was impossibly popular to
Yeah, it's important to remember that Power Rangers was the biggest thing in the world for a couple of years, and he was the face of that.
Yeah.
He was the popular thing on that show. So for a certain age group, for a little while, he was the most important person in the world, basically.
He doesn't have a lot of other credits to his name.
I don't think he's super interested in acting outside of Power
No.
Rangers. Like, martial arts is his thing.
He did an episode of Sweet Valley High in 1996
Yes! Track it down, everyone.
As who, do you know?
as a character called AJ.
Who was...
That's all the information. I'm not a Sweet
What,
Valley.
wait, what year did you say?
1996. So
Okay.
it would have been while he was on Power Rangers.
Listeners, if you are a Sweet Valley High fan
Yeah.
and you know of AJ, write in,
Hit
let
us
us know.
up.
We'd love to know more.
He also did a film in 1997 called The Junior Defenders, which also stars Ally Sheedy, who was in The Breakfast Club. Basically, it's about the four young stars of a 1970s TV show. The show was cancelled and a crazed fan kidnapped the stars. Sort of like a Galaxy Quest-esque show. For whatever reason, the movie wasn't released until 2007.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I suspect
it was
probably
terrible?
because it wasn't very good. I mean, the Wikipedia page says it features cameo appearances by people including Pauly Shore.
Oh, God.
So,
That's not a good sign.
yes. And on IMDb, it has a rating of 5.6 out of 10.
That's not too
Which is
bad.
not as bad as you would think
Yeah.
for a movie that was unreleased for a decade. But,
Star Jason David Frank.
yeah,
Who, for his incredible popularity and significant martial arts skills, is not an actor.
the man is not a box office draw.
No.
I think we might have to try and get a copy of this movie.
Oh, God. Do we have to?
Anytime I suggest that we do anything other than get through all the Power Rangers, Matt flinches.
Well, you got to remember that, like, just that, you say just that, but that is like 2 decades worth of work we've got ahead
It's
of
only
us.
$12 on DVD.
Okay. Let's get it. Let's do it.
We'll do it for a special fundraiser episode.
Okay.
I feel like you guys just hate yourselves.
I gotta be honest, we made the wrong choice. And we're gonna stick with it. And
Because we're so stubborn.
we're the most stubborn people on the face of this planet, and we hope that you guys and our listeners will stick with us. and we hope to pick up some more listeners maybe, and some more guests eventually. But yeah, the problem is at this point in the show, it's very much not a good show yet.
And while it doesn't become a good show, it does become better.
I mean, I stand by the fact that Countdown to Destruction is some of the best TV of all time. Matt thinks I'm joking, but once we get there, he will cry at how beautiful it is.
I've seen Countdown to Destruction, and it's not bad, but I don't think it's the televisual pinnacle.
It truly, truly is. It's better than anything that's been made on TV in the last decade.
The zenith of human art.
Yeah. Isn't the zenith at the bottom?
No.
Okay, that's good. I thought you were being mean, but you weren't.
No.
Okay, that's fine. So where can you go watch Grim with Evil episode 5, Breaking the Spell? I reckon some spells might be broken.
Yeah.
That's my feeling.
I think probably some swords will be involved. And if we don't see some sort of giant monster fight, I'll eat my hat.
Up until the monster fight, it sounded a bit like a fairy tale.
Power Rangers is very much like a fairy tale.
Yeah.
If you imagine once upon a time, after 10,000 years, I'm free. Guys, you've missed, because I don't think anyone's ever done it on camera. Everyone's had a go at doing Rita Repulsa today. And
None of it is.
no one has come anywhere near Rita Repulsa. Which is sad, but also beautiful in its own way.
Listeners, if you think you can do a good impression of Rita Repulsa, send us an audio clip and we'll put it on the show.
We will happily play them, good or bad.
Yeah.
So please send us one. And with that, we'll go
Watch the episode, find out what happens to the Megazord. I'm actually
See you guys,
curious.
Part 5 of 5.
See you soon. Welcome back. We just watched the last part of Green with Evil.
And it nearly redeemed the 2 crappy episodes.
I think it did. I feel comfortable saying it did.
I feel a lot better about myself.
As a person.
Yeah.
Going on living.
And your life choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Lauren, who left before this one. She's going to be so unresolved. And
Yeah.
It was like 20 minutes long. Tell her to fit it in. Give her the DVD.
Yeah, I think it's probably worthwhile just to get some closure, you know. So we had some burning questions going into this episode. Turns out that they weren't really important questions.
for one,
Yes.
interspatial biovibrations are
Yes.
the thing they used to figure out that it was Tommy.
Obviously.
Rather than common sense.
Was DNA testing a thing in the mid-90s?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it, was,
it's
it
not
took
that
a lot,
new, is
a
it?
lot longer, and was a little less reliable, I think.
But they could have, called it, magic DNA.
Yeah.
That would be assuming the writers did research, and I don't think they did.
No, that's definitely
That's fair. Why do that when you can just make up interspatial biovibrations?
Obviously, yeah. Job done.
So in the intro we see a shot of the Dragonzord, which we'll get to know a bit better in this episode. But on top of it is the Green Ranger, which, unfortunately, the wonders of DVD and the clarity that it brings shows that
It's clearly an action figure stuck on the top.
I think action figures probably being a little jerk.
Yeah, it's like a miniature.
like a 3 centimeter tall figurine. on top
Well, yeah.
of it.
Imagine that on top of the helmet that a dude is wearing in that suit.
Yeah. It kind of kills the illusion a little bit. The new DVD. Need to be some grease on the screen just like to replicate the crappy
You're not
quality.
smearing grease on our TV.
Ah.
So Zach says they found out it's Tommy, which they did at the end of the last episode, but we revisit that. Zach says, "How could Tommy do this to us? You've known him for maybe 3 days, and for 2.5 of those
He was
days,
a dick.
he was evil, right?"
So after they have their little discussion about Tommy's betrayal of their trust, their hard-earned trust,
Hour-long friendship.
they go out to try and track him down.
Yeah, they say they split up because it's going to be hard to find.
Yeah.
Angel Grove has like 2 places in it. I don't know how many places they think he could be.
Well, there'll be an extended manhunt, as we'll see.
And I like that their strategy was, what if he's at the moon base? Well, we'll just wait him out. We'll let them trash the city in the meantime. We'll just wait him out.
Well, they don't really have much choice at this stage.
Yeah, they don't have any giant fighting robots.
We want to just hide until he shows up.
So they all split up to search for him. The only one we actually follow during the search is Kimberly, who decides to search for him by sitting at the bar, at the juice bar.
And is successful. So
And is
like,
successful.
don't shit talk that
She
strategy.
says to Ernie, "Have you seen Tommy?" And he says, "He's over there."
Yeah, just literally turn around.
Oh, the new guy is over there.
He's gonna have his ravioli.
That's far more ethnic than he actually is.
So Kimberly walks over to Tommy, who's very angrily on the bench press machine, really pouring his evilness into those weights. And
I don't know if he was waiting there for someone to find him so he could confront them.
No, he's just fucking out.
It's that stage.
You gotta keep in tip-top shape.
Yeah, today's chess day, so he's doing it.
Yeah. Evil or no evil,
You don't skip chess day.
Unless you end up with a tiny chest and massive,
That's right.
like some sort of Power Rangers monster.
And Kimberly says, "Look, dude, we're onto you. We know that you're the Green Ranger." And then
Fires right back at her with,
I know you're the Pink Ranger. And she's like, what? Despite the fact that
They know,
like, of
don't they
course.
know Rita knows?
Yeah.
Who, like,
So apparently they don't know that Rita knows.
they know now.
They know. They know.
Given the amount of stuff that happens to them when they're
Personally.
not morphed. Like,
Well, I don't know if we can assume that, seeing as though they didn't put together that Tommy was...
Seeing as they're fucking morons.
that's fair. No, Rita has not said to them, "I know who you are."
Yeah, so we've got to assume that they don't know.
Well, they are idiots, I guess. So after that, Tommy makes a threat, I guess you could say, by saying, "You've been warned," which seems like a very strange thing to say to someone who tried to kill multiple times. He storms out of the building, presumably off to Rita's palace, because it's then that they have a very short discussion about bringing back the Dragonzord.
And Squad and Babu are basically saying, "We haven't seen it in thousands of years. We don't know if you can control it."
Don't do it, it's a
At
bad
which point,
idea.
Rita instantly summoned. Like, Rita wants nothing.
No, Goldar says if she wants to summon it, she will. Cut to, so I'm summoning it right now. Decision made.
And
She's an impulsive woman.
the Dragonzord is a cool thing.
Yeah, well, I think we should probably talk about the Dragonzord for a while, because
Yeah.
it's our first new Zord in the show thus
Yeah.
far.
Um,
And, like, all of the footage we see, all the giant stuff, clearly has its roots in the Godzilla films.
yeah.
It's a rich Japanese...
Stomping buildings.
It's a rich Japanese tradition.
The emerging from the water.
Yeah, but in this instance, with the Dragonzord specifically, it's very
strong.
It's very strong resemblance to Godzilla, obviously.
It doesn't really look like a dragon.
No, it does look like Godzilla.
Like, Godzilla is the closest thing to
Yeah.
what it looks like.
It's interesting too, because all the other Rangers got their powers from, like, they're channeling the powers of
Yeah.
dinosaurs. Dragons aren't real. I don't understand what he's channeling.
That
there.
means that he's channeling the power of imagination.
Oh, that's why he's the most powerful Ranger.
I'm glad that everyone groaned. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah," and I bet it was within him all along.
Yeah, you remember that Transformers movie? That was shit.
So no, but it is. Look, the footage of it stomping the city is clearly a dude in a suit.
I feel
but a
like
dude
it's
in a cool
particularly good, though.
suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as all the force perspective giant robots go, it's really strong.
And I suspect some of it is possibly like miniature stop motion work.
It's pretty technical. Like, there's a lot of it. Like, I'm not exactly sure how it works. Like, the spinning tail drill is pretty cool because that seems to operate while it's moving.
Yeah.
Oh, it's suspended by a piece of string
Okay.
from the
But
roof.
how does it
That's-
spin? Is it got like a motor in it? Do you reckon?
Can I ask, did
I
you
don't know.
see the
It just-
string or did you
no, it
assume?
just
Because
looked
I
like- 'cause
assumed.
It's,
No,
if
yeah,
it's
it-
hanging how
it
it is.
clearly
It's
is,
either
yeah.
like it seems pretty difficult to make it stay like that.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot more sense just to
The movement that it has.
Hold
It's
Yeah.
either an insanely complicated mechanical armature
Yeah.
attached to someone's back,
Yeah.
or it's hanging from a
string.
piece of string.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can say
Given the budget that we're working on this show, I think string is not out of the question.
No. Yeah, it's a very cool looking Zord. It has the light up chest plate.
Yeah.
That makes a kind of beeping
goes like
noise.
this. And it makes this toy sound. Yeah.
It basically makes sounds just so that you could push that part of the action figure
And make
could
it make
a sound.
sounds. Yeah.
But you know what? The sounds are like
Pretty cool.
Like, because none of the other Zords make sounds. They
They
roar,
do their
but they
roar
don't.
or their screech or
They
whatever.
don't really. This feels more mechanical than the rest of them.
It does, yeah. And it has cool features like fingers that turn into rocket launchers and then shoot rockets.
And it's got like a spinny drill bit on the end of its tail.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And Tommy controls it when he's not in it by using the dragon dagger and playing it as a flute. Apparently, it's also an instrument.
That tune, it sounds like, it doesn't sound like a bad guys thing. It sounds really triumphant
Heroic.
and really
Well, you got to remember
heroic.
that like it is originally like,
In 5 minutes,
No, but
he's a
then
good
later
guy.
on, the theme is different. The one
Yeah,
that he plays
he-
when he's become good, it's
actually-
different to the one that he plays when he's bad.
Is it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it
different.
was.
Yeah,
It,
it
it
They're
sounds
both-
more like a flute when he's good.
Yeah.
It sounds like a trumpet.
And
when
they
he's
both
bad.
sound like Yaaay, and I just thought it
I'm
sounds
curious to
really
see
interesting.
which one will persist as like the sound effect
think
when
the
he comes
earlier
back
one.
later.
Yeah, because
Probably, yeah.
that sound
More
of him
iconic.
playing the flute, like I know that very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I think in this footage here,
Yeah,
I think that
definitely.
this may be when I started actually watching the show.
Right, because while we're on that, I have no memories of the Dragonzord.
Yeah,
Like,
like I
this
have
was-
very explicit memories.
This was my first exposure to the Dragonzord, and holy shit, that thing is cool.
It is cool.
I think that's because I started watching post Mighty Morphin,
Yeah.
and I've never seen any of this stuff. So
Or
I'm
far enough into Mighty Morphin that he was coming up infrequently enough that you don't remember.
Well, these
Well,
Zords
no.
go away eventually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's. I think this just goes further to demonstrate that so much I think of what kids put on Tommy and thought he was awesome was the stuff.
yeah.
Like, because God, he's kind of an annoying shit in these episodes. Like he spends a lot of time saying, "I'm here for Empress Rita."
Yeah,
gonna
but he
do
was evil the whole time.
Oh, sure, but
But
like,
he's got a dagger and a kick-ass sword and the best Zord, and he's
so
Yeah.
of course you're gonna love him. So the fact that he's kind of an annoying guy, is,
That's okay,
That's
because-
not important because
It doesn't matter when you've got the toy. The toy can be you as the Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Because you've got the coolest stuff now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, yeah, it's just they went out of their way to make him the coolest dude out, and like they succeeded.
Even much later, like he gets a talking sword.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's awesome.
It's
I don't remember that.
also quite annoying. We'll get you back once that happens.
Okay.
But yeah, I think for both Ash and I, it seems like you had a lot of like flashes of recollection on watching this. Like,
Yeah, I do, because I definitely remember watching a lot of Power Rangers and having a lot of toys and a lot of the media. So yeah, I remember the Zord, but it's probably not what I remember most. I remember, once all the new Zords sort of come through and
Yeah.
a few new Rangers. That's the part I remember the best.
yeah.
Alpha. So while this is going on, Alpha is in the command center doing some hacking. And I've just done, in case you can hear it in my voice, I've just done air quotes. Because basically he just remembers what Zordon's password is. and that
types
gets
it in, and that's it.
And that's 4 letters. And that gets him access to some files somewhere, which somehow that has the location of Zordon signal. Look, I'll be honest, guys, this doesn't make sense, okay? It's a way for Alpha to do this and for it to be slightly difficult.
I think the idea is that it's supposed to be why he hasn't done it for 5
Yes.
episodes, but it's not a good reason.
No. And so Zordon comes back. That felt pretty good.
It did. It was good to see the
Sort of
old man again.
He hasn't been completely gone for the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks. We've seen flashes of him.
But he may as well have been gone.
him
Yeah.
finally back was nice.
It was nice.
And then he does something that makes the morphing coins on their belt glow. And then they teleport, but it's not the usual teleportation.
But we've
effect.
seen that effect before. Isn't that if the effect they used like the first time they
I
got
think
teleported?
very early
Yeah,
on.
like when they actually.
We've seen that fly through the air as light
It's
effect
just
before.
not the usual kind of lady effect.
Yeah.
And they teleport into a chasm filled with lava, which I don't realize everyone in the room was like, "Oh, okay, the Power Rangers are all dead now."
Oh, clap show over, I guess.
Okay, no, but the chasm filled with lava has
The Zords in it.
it.
From last episode.
And the piece of horrifying, slowly falling into the lava footage is
Is
played in
heroically
reverse.
played in reverse to show the dramatic struggle of the
And,
Zords out of the
You know,
chasm.
if it hadn't been last week, it would have worked.
I think too, like they clearly realised at some point in the writing process that they didn't really have a good reason for bringing them back. Because last episode, Alpha was saying,
They're
they're
destroyed."
destroyed. At the start of this episode, Alpha was saying, "Oh, they're not available right now."
Yeah.
Like,
He was walking that one back pretty hard.
I was fully expecting Zordon to like remake them.
I expected we built new ones.
Yeah.
Like as just an excuse, basically.
I thought that when in the last episode, I thought maybe lava couldn't destroy them, but I was like, no, they wouldn't be that lazy.
But they were.
They were even lazier.
The show sells their destruction
Yeah.
and then says, no, they're just hiding in a chasm. Why are you worried?
Yeah. Especially all that emotional.
It's
drama.
poor writing.
Yeah.
It is.
But the problem is they needed to take the Zords out last week for all hope to be lost.
Yeah.
But they needed to bring them back this week so we could win.
Yeah, I think too. Yeah, I think it shows how awesome the content is. That despite the fact that the one question we had didn't really have an answer,
We had a great time.
we still had a great time.
Yeah.
Like everyone who came up and be like, "Yeah, that was great."
So they formed the Megazord.
Yep.
And isn't that nice to see
It is.
every time?
Yeah, it's fun. We like the Megazord.
I could do with a shortened form of that combination sequence.
Well,
But
we're getting there. They started to show the light. They divided the screen to four when they're coming up, and we'll get more of that.
With the
But they
magic.
didn't form right away, though, didn't they? Because
Oh yeah, because
the,
right.
the
Jason.
best scene was
Yeah,
Jason's Tyrannosaurd
yeah.
fighting the Dragonzord
On
in just a
its own.
one-on-one, while presumably the other four just
Hang out.
Hang
Yeah,
out, just
just
chill.
It's watched.
Yeah.
I
I think Jason really needed to get that out of his system.
yeah,
Yeah.
we needed
Yeah.
Feel a little insignificant. He needed to have.
Yeah,
his
he
moment.
was feeling a lot of like alpha male
Yeah.
positional issues.
and
Exactly.
it's a pretty great fight.
It is a pretty
Yeah.
great.
I was incredibly satisfied.
There's some-
Spinning around.
there's-
the-
Yeah, they're whacking each other
it
with their
grabs
tails.
the Dragonzord's tail and spins it
There's
around.
some heroic tail wax.
And it picks it up and throws it
No,
down.
that's later.
That's the Megazord
Yeah.
later. But it just...
double kick
I
to the
feel like
chest.
it was, if the
Yeah.
writing was better, I could almost call it a callback to the first scene when Tommy was introduced and they were fighting one-on-one with the other Power Rangers
It's
watching.
definitely... The show has set up Tommy and Jason as equals.
Yeah.
And then has spent 3 episodes having Jason get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
This is Jason's
As the
opportunity
equalizer,
to
yeah.
come back and say, no, I've got a fucking dinosaur Zord of my own.
Yeah, I'm a cool dude too.
When we're on equal ground and we both know everything and no one's got a surprise up their sleeve,
we are equal.
we're playing on equal playing field.
Yeah.
Only, wasn't Tommy not in the dinosaur when he was fighting?
No, he was.
He was? Because I never saw him go in.
Yeah,
go
I
into
think it's
it.
kind of assumed.
All I saw was him directing it with his flute sword.
Because they're talking to him. Nice work. They're talking to him, or at least talking about him being in Zord a bit earlier
Yeah.
than that. So he clearly gets in there at some point.
So then,
Then Jason gets the advantage. That's when he calls the other guys up to form the Megazord.
yeah, we get a bit more
They
fight.
they pick up the Dragonzord and suplex him.
Yeah, it's basically the Bane thing. Like,
Yeah,
he just-
It's pretty awesome though. He's thrown through a mountain
Yeah.
at one point.
Big issue.
Don't tell me that wasn't cool.
No, that was
Like,
amazing.
as cool as we know Tommy is, he's been the bad guy for 5 days.
Yeah,
It's nice to see him
To
get the
see him
shit
get
kicked out of
pummeled, yeah.
him.
yeah,
It's nice to watch our heroes actually get a chance to be
Win.
heroic,
yeah.
which for the past 3 episodes they've just lost horrifically.
Again and again and again.
And then it basically ends up all on Jason again.
Yeah, because as we know, when a sword gets beaten up enough, it ejects the ranger.
So Tommy's ejected. Jason jumps out.
Yep.
He has a one-on-one fight with Tommy,
So that
which is some great fighting.
It is. Very
There's
good.
some swords, there's some guns, there's some deflection of guns.
Yeah, apparently the sound of the flute's lasers, which is ridiculous, but I'll buy it. You know, at this point, I was having so much fun. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
And then
Um,
does Tommy attack Jason and Jason deflects it back at him? Is that what happens? Or does Jason just attack him?
Yeah, and then he like lets go of both the swords.
Yeah.
no, his sword turns into a lightsaber and he throws it.
That's right.
yeah.
and
Which
it's
is
and
presumably another power that Zordon
which
has been
I
hiding.
saw when we were watching when I was watching you guys play the game. I saw
Yes,
the
he has
lightsaber, which I'd never seen before. Has that
No,
made an
that's
appearance? So that's a
completely
completely new.
For all we know, it's the only time we'll ever see it. It'll
Yeah.
never be mentioned again.
new.
So that happens.
And then-
Tommy's on the floor.
Jason shoots the sword, the sword of darkness. Sorry.
It disintegrates.
Yeah, and I've
Job
got to be
done.
honest, that's not quite as climactic as it could have been.
No, but I think
Given how many lava
Explosion or
chasms there are, you could have chucked it into one of those.
Tim, it's not the one ring.
It didn't even like break or anything. It's just not there anymore.
And then Tommy instantly demorphs.
Yeah.
which doesn't really make sense, but let's just roll with it. Sorry, while they're fighting, Tommy says, and now it's time for me to destroy you. It's been time for like 4 days. You've been this close to destroying him like 3 times.
I think we know from these episodes that no one postures quite like Tommy. Like, in a world full of, like, incredible posturers, he takes the cake. Over Rita, over Zordon, over Jason, he's the one who just likes to stand around and proclaim stupid shit.
So, here's the thing. Tommy demorphs.
Yep.
And he's kind of unconscious.
Yep.
All the Power Rangers come down now, because, now that he's beaten, that's it, we can all come and join in.
Yep.
And Jason says, let's morph. What he means is demorph.
Yeah.
But I don't mind.
Well, the thing is, like, taken literally, morph just means change.
change.
So he's correct.
That's fine. But here's the thing, right? It would not be unusual in something like this for Tommy to have had amnesia while he was under the mind control spell.
Yep.
It would not be weird to assume that he forgot who the Power Rangers were. But they literally, the second he wakes up, they're like, you're a Power Ranger now. Like, there's not even an attempt to see if possibly he doesn't remember.
Well, I think either way, it's a situation they have to deal with, like, because he still has the powers, apparently.
Yes.
So,
But if you just take away his badge, he'll never transform again.
You just take his morpher away.
it's just...
Like clip his
But-
wings.
Look, to be honest, at this point, we're like 18 minutes into the episode.
Yeah.
It's time.
I'm okay with them not, like, questioning it. Like, they're dumb enough to all go, right, he's fine now, right?
Yeah.
And unless he goes, fuck, what? Shut up for a minute. Like, they'll all be, yeah, alright, he's fine, clearly.
And Zordon says, finally, the prophecy is fulfilled.
I got really cross.
So,
I said a bad
Tim
word
said
at
a bad
Zordon.
word. Apparently, Zordon has known all along.
Because in, 21 episodes, this is about the 21st time he's done this shit.
But, like, Zordon has known the whole time that there would be a 6th Ranger who would join them and it would be all good.
If I was any one of the Power Rangers, I would immediately go back to the command center and be like, okay, look...
What else do you
That's right.
know?
We need to break this shit down. I want an itemized list.
What do
Everything
we do?
you know is
Where are
coming
the
up.
cool guns?
Yeah.
Where are the cool
What other
swords?
prophecies should I know
Are
about?
there
And he'll
more
probably
robots?
do something stupid like, oh, you'll know when the time is right.
Is there a whole other team of Power Rangers coming?
Is this going to go on
It's a
for
shame.
decades? I want to know now.
It's a shame they can't just punch him in the tooth.
Am I going to be on this show for 20 years?
Or am I going to be kicked out?
How sustainable is this employment?
And so then basically the rest of the episode is devoted to showing off how cool Tommy is going to be. So,
Which is fair.
pretty cool. So,
Which, yeah, after a week in the time of the original airing of him being bad, you just want to see.
Yeah.
so we get the Dragonzord out, and the Dragonzord can combine with 3 of the other Zords,
Leaving what?
leaving
The pterodactyl
and
pterodactyl and
the
Tyrannosaurus,
Yeah.
and become its own separate Megazord. And presumably the other 2 just have to chill while that's happening.
Well, we're seeing that those two are easily affected by themselves
Yes.
as well, so,
I like the thought that under the lower jaw of the Dragonzord's mouth the whole time was a face.
Yeah.
And it just goes, boo! And there's just, my eyes are here now.
But that was going to be useless until he turned good and was able to utilise the other Zords
Well, I think the way it was designed originally was...
for them to
To
be
combine,
modular.
Yeah, like, it was for a good guy, it just happened to be under
It
control.
raises the question of whether, like, all of the Zords can form into different formations.
Yeah.
Like, is there some sort of form?
Well, no, because if you put, like, what is it, the Sabertooth and the Mastodon, you just have 2 legs poking out like a cat-dog type situation. Like, that's useless.
I think that point when they made the Dragon Megazord would be the point as a kid that I would have absolutely flipped the fuck out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because, like, the Dragonzord's cool, but then when it makes that, you're like, yeah!
I kind of did flip the fuck out.
Yeah, I have a note on my phone where I'm writing my notes that literally says, fuck yeah, that I'm pretty sure comes from that time in the episode.
Yeah.
So they go back to the command center.
Yep.
Tommy gets the rundown on the rules.
Yep, the rules that the Power Rangers broke, so just
It's fine, Zordon was
Well, arguably, because I was paying attention at that point, and he says you can't escalate a fight unless Rita forces you to.
So you could
I
say
think
they were
you could
forced-
argue that they were forced to.
They weren't forced to because it was large. They were forced to because they were outmatched.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And then they're basically all like, "So you're on the team."
Well, before that, that Zordon praises them on how well they did in his absence.
Particularly praising Alpha.
5. Oh, yeah, so Zordon says to Alpha 5, in my absence, you did a fantastic job in a leadership capacity. Good
is
work.
true.
It is true.
Alpha 5 has done the most work.
Thank God someone
He
said
was
it.
shut down twice in 5 episodes, and he's still been the most useful person on the team.
And in the room, I got an awe out of him. I think just about everyone. I think everyone was legitimately...
That scene was a moment of like an alcoholic dad finally admitting that he's proud of his son. Like
Yeah.
that's how that felt.
Yeah.
It was incredibly nice.
It was, and I think that should have, despite this bullshit, we formed some sort of emotional connection. to
Oh,
some of the
definitely.
characters.
To Alpha in particular, probably.
Yeah.
It's alright, one day he'll become Alpha 6 and he'll start talking in like black hip hop slang and it will be insufferable.
I just want to say that when Zordon gave Tommy the rundown of the Power Rangers rules, and if you break these, will take away your protection or whatever. The first one was you can't let anyone else know your secret identity. You can't let anyone know you're a Power Ranger. Which, of course, I knew that. Like, in fact, I knew that parents probably don't know that they're dressing in skin-tight latex and whatever.
Fighting strange people on the moon.
Yeah.
Where are you going, Kimberly? Oh, I'm going to go put on some latex and fight a space witch.
Alright, you had for dinner.
Yeah, but it just
Be
kind
safe.
of, for me, put it in a whole new light because this random guy they've never met before, older than them, obviously, can just abduct them, put them in these costumes and say, go out and fight these monsters and don't tell your parents.
Put this on. Don't tell anyone.
So to a dark place.
It always does.
No, it went to the dark dimension a couple of episodes ago.
My mistake is getting used without order, I guess.
And then, of course, because it's 1994,
Oh, it's never been more 1994 than in the last
Yes.
scene.
we end on everyone jump at once.
Everyone
freeze
puts
frame.
their hands together in like a 1, 2, 3 team kind of moment, and they all jump into the air, freeze frame like a Toyota ad.
And then the credits roll.
It's beautiful.
What a special time!
It was everything I could ever have dreamed of.
It was nothing if not a really, really strong finish.
Yeah. I feel like had episodes 2 and 3 been one episode, it would have been much better.
I reckon 2, 3, and 4 could have been one episode
Yeah.
with the amount of content there wasn't in any of them.
Was I hallucinating or...
Possibly.
or
Exposure
was
to
there,
this much Power Rangers can do that.
was there a moment, like, just before they did the freeze frame high five, when there was... I have written down prodigious and more phenomenal.
Yes, you would have heard
Yeah.
more phenomenal and prodigious.
Potentially multitudinous.
No, they didn't say more fortudinous, but
Not this
more
week.
fortudinous has been said.
Why?
Because what's the point of having your own TV show if you can't make up silly words for
But
kids?
it's prodigious is an actual word, isn't it? Prodigious is
Yes.
it's an actual word, but then they put it next to more phenomenal. So now kids are going to go out and think that's an actual word.
It is an actual word.
It is.
Everything's
Power
an
Rangers
actual
invented
word.
it.
It means phenomenal related to Power Rangers.
In particular, morphing.
Turbo, a Power Rangers movie, is not more phenomenal.
I'm just picturing these kids, like, they reach high school and they're writing an essay. It was more phenomenal.
Yeah, but those kids are dumb in a different way. They think it's all right to write like that was awesome in an essay. You know, they're just bad writers, and it really doesn't matter what language they're using.
Not only that, if they use the word correctly, they'll have to be talking about Power Rangers. And if they're talking about Power Rangers, then...
That could be
I
contextually
am
appropriate in their
disappointed how
essay.
few of my essays throughout my life related to Power Rangers.
Yeah, me too. I need to find a way to work that in better.
Can you study more phenomenous?
My understanding is that if you get high enough, you can study anything and say it's academic.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Well, we did it, guys.
Before
We smashed it.
Matt, did you have a toy Dragonzord?
No.
No? Okay. I just thought you
That's
might
quick.
have. That's fine.
Way
No.
to
no,
shoot
Did you
that
have-
down.
Did you have any Green Ranger action figures or...
No, I had some original Ranger stuff.
Yep.
And some White Ranger stuff.
Yeah,
no
me
Green
too.
Ranger stuff.
No
Interesting.
green, yeah.
We
White
didn't own
Ranger.
any Mighty Morphin memorabilia, did
We
we?
owned a Red Ranger action figure
With the diamonds, yeah.
who morphed, his head flipped from
Yeah.
morphed to unmorphed.
Yeah.
I
When he
vaguely
pushed
remember
his belt
that.
button,
Did I break his legs, or
he
was
broke
that
his arm. He broke
exclusively?
everything's arm. Bro, 4 Bobs from Reboot. all had their arms
Four
broken
Bobs
off.
in a row, baby.
Why did you have 4 copies of Bob?
Because I
his
kept
arm
breaking them.
getting
Because I
broken.
kept breaking them.
Because
Don't have a younger brother. It's bad for your
I
stats.
wanted one without a broken arm, and Tim kept snapping them off.
Fuck you. No arms.
I'm hopeful that Jason is out in the garage, and I'll go find him one day.
That'd be good.
And I don't think we had anything else.
Have we discussed how so many of the toys and the merchandise had the dino coins on
Yeah,
their
I think we
chest,
talked
Yeah.
about it.
despite the fact that
Despite those aren't in the costume.
yeah,
It's a weird
show.
I never had any Power Ranger toy or anything like that. Whenever we wanted toys, Mum said just to make some.
I'm imagining you now had like 5 pegs painted in the colours.
With a white
Yeah,
diamond.
that's the sort of thing we did. We had like shoeboxes, and we draw the dolls and cut them on paper and cut them out. And
Well, my sister used to do that, but with like toilet rolls.
I'm
Like,
imagining
stick
now you
clothes
have
on
like
them.
5 boxes and you make them into like the Megazord. Just 5 boxes on top of each other.
And
like
you stand
one
behind it and wave your arms and go, "Meow!"
Quick guys, to the box Megazord!
But you know what? The strength of a show that can make fun out of 5 shoeboxes is a testament to the quality of that program.
Absolutely. I discussed my Power Rangers costume that I had.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think you have.
Okay, cool. 'Cause that was pretty cool.
Ash, did you have any cool Power Rangers stuff?
I talked about it when I was on the.
Oh, you did too, that's right. Well, does anyone have anything to say about Tommy Oliver,
I don't think it's been...
Who's Tommy Oliver?
the Green Ranger?
Okay,
Yes,
thanks for that.
I've had an incredible time. It's been really good.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us, everyone here at the table.
And Lauren, who is no longer with us. No longer with us.
Still
Just,
lost in
No,
the
no, thank you for Lauren. She bailed.
she's lost in a time warp.
Yeah. We'll have
In
to
the
find
dark dimension,
Next
find out the
about to get
password.
fucked by Goldheart.
You had to go back there, didn't you?
Hey, listen, I don't want
Go
anyone
back.
to forget.
Thank you guys very much for sticking with us through this. We'll be back next week with what I'm sure will be a disappointing episode.
Yes. It's all downhill from here.
Hopefully Tommy sticks around for a bit.
I feel like he's so in and out, but more out for a
Yeah,
while.
he is.
But yeah, I think we'll at least keep seeing next week, hopefully.
If we're incredibly lucky.
That would be like a significant drop off to go, yeah!
We don't have the question for Barry.
No. Yeah, that's true.
I want to find out if he gets to keep his like golden triangle on his.
He does.
He does?
Yeah, yeah.
It never
Okay.
goes away.
Because that's a little bit sad for the rest of the Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's a bit
That's
unfair.
a while away. So we'll be back next week with The Trouble with Shell Shock. Thank you very much for
It is
listening.
quite troublesome.
We have been Amanda,
Hello.
Tim,
Goodbye.
Paisley,
Bye.
Ash,
Hi.
Matt,
Guy,
and myself. No one was prepared for that. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Yay.
Bye,
No.